Hey everyone, welcome back to another Facebook Live. My name is Kelley Farley and I'm an independent Stampin' Demonstrator in Auckland, New Zealand. And tonight we're going to make this little fancy fold card. It's called a side shutter card, and it's using some of our new designer series paper, which I think is called Pretty Prints. Comes in 4 different colours. So you've got the Bermuda Bay, Evening Evergreen, Calypso Coral, and Blackberry Bliss are the colours that it comes in. So, if you are there, do say hello. Just get this up on my screen so I can see any comments. Hi Lisa, oh thank you Lisa. Yeah, so it's a new stamp set that I probably doesn't need to be found. Just a verbal thought there. New stamp set with the wild animals. I thought that I'd give that a go, and using these dies. I found that I am low on thank you cards. So that's what it looks like when it stands up. It stands by itself. It's got a little bit of you could put an edge there if you wanted to, but yeah, so let's get started. I have, hi Glennis, you're awake. I hope you're on the road to recovery. You will have had your operation, wouldn't you? That'll be why it's taking your, you're feeling so tired. It takes a lot out of you. Okay, so we've got a piece of cardstock here that is 5.5 by 11. Now that is slightly shorter than ours. You need to take off about 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to pop that in the trimmer, and we're going to pop it in long ways. Now, let me see if I can lift it up so that you can see it a bit better and get a wider view of it, hopefully. Almost. As you can see my shirt, which isn't. Hi, Andrea. Move these out of the way. I'll cut another one of those, I think. Okay, so we've got. You can see that in there now. So pop it in so that the 11-inch side is along the top. We're going to pop this in at 1 1/4. 1 1/4. I knew that just sounded wrong. So 1 1/4, and then we're going to get our cutting blade and we're going to put that at 1 3/4. So if you look here, oh no, Glennis, that's terrible news. I'm sorry to hear that. So we're going to put our blade at 1 3/4. And just see if I can get a dark piece of card under there to see it easily. 1 3/4, so just there. And our cardstock is going to sit at 1 1/4. And then we're going to pop that down. We're going to cut all the way down to 5 1/4. Sorry, I just had to check my. So you're going to go from 1 3/4 to 5 1/4, and you're just going to gently stop it there. And if you need to, or you feel like you want to, you can just kind of bring that back like that. Leave your blade there at the 1 3/4, because then that'll be easier to reline it up. Hi Mary. We're going to, now instead of rotating it opposite ways, we're going to flip the cardstock over completely. So our cut is now at the bottom, and then we're going to put it back in at 1 1/4. I'm going to lock that blade down, start there at 1 3/4 and go to 5 1/4. And then back again to make sure we get to 1 3/4. If you find that it's not quite right, you can you could go in with your snips and just trim a little bit. So I'm going to pop this in. I'm going to rotate it. Hi, Angela. Sorry, I'm just trying to have a look at the comments. Right, so we've had it this way. We're going to do, what's that, 45 degrees? Yeah, because that's 180. 45 degrees. You can tell I don't teach maths very much. And we're going to pop this in, and we're going to line up our cut marks here, which are 1 3/4. So if you want to, you can flip it over and go this way. So 1 3/4, because you want to get your scoring marks there. If you don't want to flip it, it's actually just as easy to pop it in there. We don't need our cutting blade anymore. Get your scoring blade and just check that you have got. Just move that up slightly, because this is 1 1/2, so it's slightly a little bit taller than that. And you can see that that's going to catch on the runner there. So you're going to pop your scoring blade in on the cut mark, and you're going to score out. Okay, and then you're going to go to the other cut mark and score out. Alright, so when you lift it, when you look at it, you should have your score marks there, stopping at your cut marks. Alright, so then you're going to put it in. You actually do need to rotate it this way. Sorry. So you can put it in 1 3/4, score. Then you're going to put it all the way through to 3 1/2. So these are your, flipped it over the wrong way. Oh no, here they are. I just couldn't see them because of the light. 3 1/2. Yep. And you're going to score all the way through at 3 1/2. I might just go back here. So this was 1 3/4, and just line that up because it's not a very strong line, and I want to make sure that it folds nicely. So I'm just going to do those two again. So 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4 is your next one, and that one is also, that's this one here. So in the diagram that I looked at, it says to go all the way through. I'm going to go all the way through, but I think you could probably get away with just doing your edges if you wanted to. And then 7 is our next one. Now, the lady that I cased this from, she actually had another piece that sat on the back there. I've chosen not to do that. And I did put her name on the piece of paper when I put the measurements up. Her name is Kelley Taranto, from America. So, you know, if you wanted to, if you didn't like it how it was there, if it looked a bit odd, so if you have another piece around the outside, it just kind of gives it another layer. I don't think, personally, I don't think it's needed, but that's, you know, your choice. So we're going to start with our score marks furthest away from us, and we're going to do both of those. And then we're going to score all of those. Like so. Then we're going to score the center ones there, just gently because we don't want to rip them. And then you've got just these outside ones, so if you pop them back, you'll find that pinches back, and then you can just fold it. What happened here, Kelley? Did something wrong. Story of my life today. So that's that, and then it folds in like that. So you end up with this edge piece here, but and if you wanted to, you could trim it off, but actually once it's all decorated, it's quite nice to have a little bit of a edge there to it. So I've left it on. So what we need is when you've folded all your score lines, you want the center piece to be popping out, all right? So if you're looking at it like that, it would be like a center step card, and you would have the other two bits. But because it is a portrait style card, this center piece here is popping out, and these two bits, which could pop out, are popping back, so that they're kind of like the zigzag shutter card thing. Okay, so then it's just a matter of decorating. So what I've done is I've pre-cut some bits and pieces. This one here, I've decided to not use white tonight, which is very, very unlike me, and I'm going to use Pool Party as my card for my insert, because I thought white is a little bit stark. So what I've got is some pens, and I debated whether I did black or not, because I've got black on the front cover, but I've decided not to, and I'm just going to use my pens to colour in. This stamp set is Thank You for Your Kindness. It comes from Dragonfly Garden. I've decided I don't want the thank you on there twice, and I like the die cut this time. So I'm just getting my marker, and I'm using Bermuda Bay because it's darker, and I'm just going over with the pens. Let's get that on, and then I'm just going to huff on it, and then I'm going to center Thank You for Your Kindness in my card. Nice even pressure, just like that, and then when I put that in there, it's going to be covered up, so it's not going to be seen until I want them to see it. Excuse me. Okay, so you could decorate this any way you like. You could pop this on the back and put some other stamps or designer series paper on the front. You know, you guys have got some phenomenal ideas. So, but it doesn't have to just be that. You could put that piece on the back here, and you could use that as part of your decoration if you wanted to. So you've got two pieces here, which are, what is that? That is the long panels. That's a really original label for them, isn't it? 1.5 inches wide by 5 inches, and then the designer series paper is just 1/4 inch smaller, so it's 1 1/4 by 4 3/4, and we're just going to, I initially was going to use this side, and I've actually decided, because I thought, oh, I've used that leafy one, I kind of didn't really like that, so I've decided I'm going to use this side. It just kind of stands out a bit against the Pool Party, and no, that's not Pool Party, that's Coastal Cabana, against the Coastal Cabana and the Bermuda Bay. I'm rambling, so sorry about that. And then this one is going to go here. So we're going to glue those two together on here. I'm just going to pop those on there like that. Just going to glue and glue. The one thing with this paper which is really nice is it's not really directional, although because it's only a small panel you can see that that's actually that there is facing up, so I'm going to put it down facing up, but when you look at the bigger sheet as a whole piece, it's not directional at all. They're going in all sorts of directions. So we're going to glue that down on on our card here. What's that one like? Oh yeah, I'll put that one on the front. This one here. It's in the centre in the panel. Try and line it up with our back piece. And then this one is going to go on the front. And I think I like the whitey bit at the top. Like that. And then we've got a couple of extra pieces. So this is another piece here. This is called the inside panel on the instructions. So this is this matting piece, or Coastal Cabana, is 1.5 by 2.5, and this DSP is 1 1/4 by 2 1/4. We're just going to mount that on top of that. Like so. And then this piece is just going to get glued on to this side. Like so. Then a couple of options with these top panels. On mine, I decided to just leave them with the Coastal Cabana matte. You could put some stamping on there, but it kind of gave it, I thought, just a little bit of a difference. So you've got these pieces here, which are 1 by 1 1/4, 1.5, sorry, 1.5 by 1. You could then, excuse me, sorry ladies, you could then layer your DSP on here. So this would be 1 by 3/4, or 1 1/4 by 3/4. So you could get that sort of match in with that. And this particular DSP kind of got lost on. We could go that way. Should we do that? So you could layer it, or you could just put DSP straight on top. Let's just put some DSP straight on top. Give it a little bit of something different. That's one of the lovely things with Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper, is that there's usually 2 great designs on each piece of paper, 1 on each side. So if you change your mind mid-craft, midway through your crafting, then you've got some options. Or if you decide once you've cut it all out that you don't like it in the way that you've done it, then you can just flip it over and use the other side. Okay, so that is that. So it opens like that, and it's our inside piece. This piece here is what I have called the front panel. Now this, you could put more DSP here. You could do another panel like that, so it's, you know, but what I've done, which is what Kelley did, is I've got a panel which kind of lines up on there. Do I need a bit wider gap there? Yeah, and I've just lined it up with the edge here. So I've got a Coastal Cabana, and then I've just put in a bit of Pool Putty, which is this lighter colour here, which I'm going to stamp on. Alright, but you could put another piece of Designer Series paper there. Ladies are so quiet tonight. Not even a little whisper. So I've used the little raccoon on this one for my thing. So because Panda, I don't want to go that way though. Let's do Panda. He's quite a big stamp. This is in the new catalogue. It's quite cute. But I don't need the whole stamp, so I'm just going to use a smallish block. But where is he? Put that there. And mount him like that. And then and put that on there. It's going to fill up the whole page. I'm going to stamp this in black. I did do it in, I tried Coastal Cabana and I tried Bermuda Bay, and I didn't really like the effect of that, so I decided to go with my black. I'm just going to get a piece of scrap paper. Midweek tired. Yeah, it is, Lisa. Midterm tired. Midweek tired. Okay, so I'm going to line this up so that I reach in there. Nice even pressure. This is one of our distinctive stamp sets, so you end up with quite a nice amount of detail on there. So you can see the fur around his face there. It's got different layers of etching, so the leaves are slightly darker in some places than in others. So I just see that there's a bit of black there. I don't want it to smudge on me. So I'm just going to put this in here. It should be dry, but I just don't want to put my hands on it when I am sticking everything down. So it's just still got a little bit coming off. So I'll let that to dry. Now I've cut out my thanks, but that kind of gets lost on there. I did 2 tones there, but maybe I don't even need the background. Oh, do I just use that? No, that looks funny. But I could just use that. I put this here. So I just cut some out of a piece of Designer Series paper that I was using, and the other one I've done with cardstock. So if I lie this flat, oh my gosh, stop that. Now this is going to go here, right? So it does overlap, but when we put it down, we're actually only going to put adhesive on this side here. So it kind of pops up a little bit. And I'm going to put that there like that. And then I'm going to get this and pop that there. What do you think? I think it needs something else. I think it needs a bit of something lighter. What do you think, ladies? I think I might do a little bit of pool party on top of that, and cut one of those out. What do we like for time? So these are the Amazing Thanks dies, so you get the outline and then the actual words of them. So let me just take this over to my cut and emboss machine. Through. Oh, the panda's so cute, isn't he? So cute. So is the raccoon, but the panda is so cute as well. So, here they are. Alright, so I'm going to plot this together. Put that on here. Sunday night seems to be the popular night for people to be able to watch. Hopefully that right. So I'm going to pop this here, and I'm actually going to pop it up on dimensionals. Now, normally, Normally I would put it on here, but I want to make sure that I don't get it hanging over the edge here. So I'm just going to bring it in a bit, because I know that one's not so bad. But because I know that my card, my matting piece is a lot smaller than, well, not a lot smaller, but it is smaller than my, whoops, that wasn't locked. My mat piece is smaller than the piece that it's going into, so I can line that up nice and evenly, like that. And then I feel like it's such a waste, but no, don't like it, still don't like it. So some glue just to get it stuck. Yes, and that's now on the table. That's what happens when it sticks to your table when you pick it up with your thumb. Is it doesn't stay where you want it. Alright, so I'm just going to move that a little bit. The beauty of glue. A little bit of wiggle room. So that one is Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay and Pool Party. So it'll be interesting to see how that stands out. So I kind of want that. Do I want it to hang down? Let me close my card up. I want it to hang down. Or do I want it to come up a bit more? Maybe hang down a little bit. So I'm going to put glue along the top part of my words, the nice thing with using this die set, because it's got the shadow bubble thing behind it, it gives you a little bit more, space to put glue. You don't get it all over you. It's a little bit easier to manage. Okay, so that is the end of our card. Just clear away some of the stuff so that I've got some room to show you both of them. Alright, so that is one, and that is the second one. Thank you, Venus. Yeah, so that is, there's also one more stamp in there, which is the little koala, which is really super cute, but I think he needs to have a piece that's a bit wider up there to show the full detail on him, so I'll use him for something else. But it's quite nice to have something that's a little bit simple and just kind of cute, that doesn't really have like a feminine or a masculine kind of you know, feeling to them. Alright, I'm going to just bring this down slightly so that I can flip you around, because we have got 4 lovelies who entered the draw this week. Heather, Alison, Glennis and Sally, thank you very much for sharing your cards. Thank you, Lisa, for popping Sally's card up. So let's have a little go and see. Oh, let me just make sure no one's put one that I have missed. Oh, that's weird that my phone's doing that. That's very weird. Okay, so let's give this a go. Good luck, ladies. Who have we got? Who have we got? Who have we got? Alison. It was very close, Sally. Very close, Sally. Thank you very much, ladies, for participating in that. It was a little bit different this time because using blender pens, and I know that not everyone probably has blender pens, so thank you those much. And Alison actually used not quite blender pens. I think she said she had like aqua painter kind of things, but used the same technique with one of the ones that I showed you. So that's great news. Congratulations, Alison. Heather, I still owe you 2. Hi, Shannon. Still owe you 2 prizes, and then Alison, I will sort one out for you as well. I'm going to leave you now at 8 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. I hope that you let me turn that around, and that will not be a very pleasant experience for you, sorry. I hope that you have a lovely week, and I will see you on Sunday night. Hopefully not too disheveled, because it's my daughter's 15th birthday on Monday, and she's having friends going roller skating Saturday, and then we've got a family lunch Sunday. So, and that's just the first weekend. Next weekend we've got a sleepover, so that's going to be even worse. But yeah, it'll be nice to be able to celebrate that. So thank you very much for joining me. I will see you on Sunday night at 7:30. Take care. Have a great week.